Okay, so this is my full review of the all-new Xiaomi Mi Pad 5 Pro. Let's go ahead and jump in. Alright, just some quick housekeeping news here. The regular Mi Pad 5, so not the Mi Pad 5 Pro like this one. So the Mi Pad 5 actually launched globally as of last week, I believe in Europe specifically. So as of now, as of the shooting of this video, if you want to order the Mi Pad 5 Pro, like this one, you would have to go for the Chinese version, which is what I have here. They don't have one global. We are still not sure that they're going to release it globally. As of now, it's staying local to China. So if you don't live in China and you really want this tablet, you would have to scan the internet and see if you can get yourself a Chinese version. Anyway, so now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about this tablet here. And I want to quickly brush on design before talking about my experience using it. And to those who don't know, this is an 11 inches Android tablet currently available in only 2 colors, which are black and white. And as you can see here, this black actually looks pretty sleek. You do have a solid build here, both to the touch and also in terms of looks. It looks very familiar to many of you simply because it looks so awfully close to an iPad Pro. In fact, the UI is actually built to mimic what you would have with Apple tablets. As far as the camera goes, this unit here is the Wi-Fi version, and unlike the 5G variant, this one has a 13 megapixel main sensor on that camera module there and a 5 megapixel depth sensor on there. And the selfie camera found on the front here is boasting an 8 megapixel sensor, and I have to tell you, this is actually impressive. Great stabilization when you're using it for selfies, using it for vlogs, or just when you're using that front camera to make videos. Same with the back. You may know that Xiaomi generally tries to push the envelope with their phone cameras, and it looks like they did the same here. Again, very impressive image stabilization with this camera, so something pretty close to what you would find on their phone. As I mentioned, they generally try to push that envelope there, and they did a good job implementing that on here. Obviously, you have the usual suspects, like I like to call them, and by that, of course, I do mean physical features. Now, if we can start up here with the power button, which again looks awfully close to what we have on the iPad Air 4. So it's a combo of a power button slash fingerprint sensor. So you have the fingerprint system embedded in that power button. So you can press that to unlock the tablet. You can also use it to power the tablet on. You have a quad speaker setup here, so quad setup, so you have 2 on the left side and 2 on the right side, but the tablet itself has 8 speakers, and it shows the sound quality here is really, really good. And these, by the way, do support Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. Very impressive loudspeaker sound quality, of course, with a very good level of bass. Pretty clean treble also, especially for something this size, so very good tablet for entertainment. You do, of course, have additional features like the mics around it. You have the 3 pins to connect to the official keyboard, the official Xiaomi keyboard here, and then you have a USB Type-C port. This was kind of actually, it's a major disappointment. This is like the most basic USB Type-C port that you can have on the tablet as of now, on the Pro tablet or even on the mid-range tablet, because it does not push out video signals. So what you have here, the speed is actually not even that great. Transfer speed here, not that great. And not only that, you cannot extend the display or extend whatever content you have here to an external display. That was kind of a disappointment, especially for something that claims to be a Pro tablet. And finally, of course, you have your volume rocker there, up and down. By the way, quick break here. If you are new to the channel, chances are you forgot to do 2 main things. Please do me a huge favor. Hit both the like and the subscribe button there. It's a tremendous boost to this channel. Again, I truly appreciate that. All right, so let's talk about something heavier here. So specs and performance. One of the main reasons why many people are attracted to this tablet here is just the platform, right? So it's boasting a Snapdragon 870. And just for reference, the Galaxy Tab S7, which is an amazing tablet, the Tab S7 and the Tab S7 Plus, each boast a Snapdragon 865 Plus. So as you would imagine, 870 here means it's clocked a tiny bit higher than those tablets with their Snapdragon 865 Plus. Now, even though when buying a tablet or a phone and all that, you cannot base the whole performance and user experience on a single factor, just like the chipset. It doesn't tell the whole story, obviously, but it's still very impressive to see that they were able to add a high-level chipset on this thing, given how much it costs, right? It is also coupled with 6 gigs of RAM for the base model, which is what I have here, along with 128 gigs of internal storage. And that is another downside with this tablet here, is that you have 128 gigs of internal storage, but that is non-expandable. So a little bit like the iPad, if you buy 128 gigs, Well, you just bought 128 gigs. Nothing you can do about that internal storage. You cannot expand that as you would normally be able to do, with just a typical Android tablet. You also do have the option to go to a 256 gigs of internal storage for a little bit more money and stick with 6 gigs of RAM. And there's a third option available for 256 gigs of RAM with 256 gigs of internal storage and 8 gigs of RAM. The skin that's sitting on top of this is MIUI version 12.5.2, at least in my unit here. And to those of you who are not familiar with this interface, as I mentioned earlier, it looks awfully close to what the iPad has to offer. It's as if they just went out of their way to get away from the traditional UI that is offered on Android tablets to, mimic what is offered on Apple tablets or just the Apple devices, which ended up leading many to believe that you can use this as a replacement for an iPad Pro, which, by the way, it is not. I already made a video about that. It is not. All of that being said, that UI has been implemented here very, very well. It is super fluid. It is super smooth. Also, it is loaded, the tablet itself is loaded. It supports 120 hertz refresh rate. But again, even though that UI is well implemented, it is still an Android tablet. So obviously you can download or sideload the Google Play Store here. And if you were used to a different UI, this thing will definitely take some getting used to. And for someone like myself who owns, Android tab, the typical traditional Android tablet and also Apple tablets or Apple devices, it's just weird to see kind of that Apple UI on an Android tablet. So I'm still trying to get used to it. Again, it doesn't matter, I have no doubt that people out there, who buy this tablet will eventually get used to it. But I'm just saying from the get-go, you will find it kind of odd if you already know that UI is solely on Apple devices. Overall performance is just excellent here. You have a top-notch chipset, 6 gigs of RAM. That's really, really good stuff. I've been able to handle day-to-day tasks, to light, to medium, to heavy tasks with absolutely zero issues. None whatsoever. Gaming has been fantastic. Also, I've tested a bunch of my favorite mobile games on here, including Call of Duty Mobile, Asphalt 9, PUBG, and a few more games. And gameplay has been great, even for these fairly heavy games. Now, I have not encountered any stuttering or lagging. You can actually play PUBG Mobile with HD graphics and keep the frame at extreme and still be going at about 60 FPS. And speaking of frames per second here, let's talk display for a second. It's an 11-inch IPS display here with 2560 by 1600 for the resolution. And as I mentioned earlier, it does support high refresh rate at 120 hertz, but you do have the option to revert that back to the regular 60 hertz that we are all accustomed to. And as I mentioned earlier, also, this tablet will offer Dolby Vision and HDR10 support, although Netflix seems to play in standard definition only. But anyway, nice image quality, fairly sharp, and you can play with the color, adjust the settings to your liking. As far as the battery goes, it is loaded with an 86 milliamp battery here, so slightly higher than what you would typically get for something about this size, right? So the Tab S7, for reference, for example, is an 8000 milliamp. So here you have an 8600 milliamp, and it's a good battery. It lasts, and it actually is fast charged at up to 67 watt. That is impressive. So I've been able to actually finish the day without any issues, even keeping the tablet at 120 hertz refresh rate. All of that being said, I cannot tell you what your usage, what your battery life is going to be like, obviously, because it's going to be subjective. So just make sure to charge it and test it out. And speaking of charging, you actually get this tablet. That's all you get in the box. So obviously we don't have a global version for this guy here. So if you want to order this, you will be ordering the Chinese version, which comes with just the tablet and the quick start guide. So it's literally a tablet and a guide. And also the USB to headphone jack port, the little dongle. So just that. Now, unfortunately, I'm still not able to get my hands on the Xiaomi stylus made for this tablet here in the Mi Pad 5. I actually did order it through eBay. I don't know what's happening. I thought by now it would have shipped, or I thought by now I would have received it. It was coming out of China, so I'm still waiting. That's actually the reason why I waited so long to do the review of this guy here. So I guess at this point, as soon as I get it, I'm gonna test it out and then I make another review video just for the Xiaomi Pen there. But with all of this being said, here's my take. Overall, this is a very good tablet, especially given the build and also the price point, right? It will run you about $400 for this Chinese version, and that's, before tax and shipping. So pretty affordable. And with all of this comes the question, can I recommend this tablet? No. And yes, right? So it depends. I wouldn't just blindly recommend this to everyone out there. And like I've said before, buying a tablet is not necessarily about going with what has the most power, right? Case in point, the M1 iPad Pro is the most powerful tablet out there, but I don't recommend that tablet for just anyone or everyone. Same here. I would recommend this particular tablet if you are looking for something affordable with some flagship specs and features, pro-level chipset, fast with excellent performance, high refresh rate, great entertainment, and so forth, and you don't care much about an ecosystem. I will, however, not recommend this tablet to anyone looking for an iPad Pro replacement just because it mimics the UI that is made by Apple. I also would not recommend this if you are looking for something versatile in terms of handling high productivity, right? So like the ability to extend your main screen or main content to another display. So for people who are always doing a million things at the same time and trying to extend that display, not being able to do that through the hardware failure, well, not failure, but the fact that the USB Type-C cannot push video out, that's a problem. Also, the fact that it doesn't have a solid feature to really make it flexible for you to work with a bunch of different things. Yeah, so if you're a high productivity type of person, this may not be the one for you, but still, it's a great tablet. Don't get me wrong. Fantastic tablet. Anyway, I hope you found this informative. Of course, as I mentioned, I'm going to make another review this time around for the Xiaomi stylus, whatever it's called, and I'm going to drop that whenever I get my hands on it. Make sure to share this video if you know anyone who would be interested, who are in the market for this one, and who are looking for additional information on this. I'm going to catch you in the comment section if you have any questions, something that you would like for me to test out. Let me know in the comment section. I'm also going to catch you in the next video. I appreciate you. If you haven't hit the subscribe, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget. And like the video also. I'm going to catch you in the next video. As always, of course, stay safe out there.